The Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
A beautiful Saturday ahead of us. We'll top out at a sunny 80 degrees this afternoon. Overnight, clear skies will drop to about 60. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss the best Springfest deals right now at Lowe's. Save big on Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil. Get 5 bags for just $10. Offer valid through 5/1. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last.
Take the Points is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored.
Perfect timing to go live right when the Cardinals are picking.
Advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome in. Mike Gross, Jackson Groff with you from the CAC Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. And Jackson, this is a show that you have been chomping at the bit, to do for weeks. You've been saying, I can't wait to do the show on April 27th. I can't wait to do the show on April 27th. Well, Jackson Groff, congratulations. You made it.
We've made it.
It's April 27th, and you've got 2 hours to dissect, do your overviews, get into the NFL draft.
Well, Mike Gross, us two being NFL nerds, we're college football nerds, and just football nerds in general, we thrive on days like today, seeing who the Arizona Cardinals are going to draft, which the power of radio and the timing of it, they just selected in the 5th round defensive tackle / edge rusher Xavier Thomas from Clemson. This is a guy, 6-year senior, 6'2", 244, comes in with a lot of veteran experience, another Clemson great defensive player. I like this pick for the Arizona Cardinals, and they got another pick in the 5th round about 20 picks from now.
Obviously, we're going to do a lot of NFL draft talk today, so I don't want to do a deep dive here. But as you and I were getting ready to do the show today, you made a comment about just an overview of this draft class, not a specific breakdown position by position, but just when you take a snapshot of the players that the Cardinals have drafted up until this point. What was your takeaway? What is Monty Ossenfort assembling through the 2024 draft?
Yeah, for Arizona Cardinals fans, this is not going to be next year's Super Bowl or maybe even 2 years Super Bowl. This is a team that's going to be built off of the founding stones and about players that have high character. That was the term I used. I think the one you're talking about is high character players. Marvin Harrison Jr. stays after practice on the Jugs machine every single day. You've got Darius Robinson, who had his NIL money and donated it all to kids in Columbia so they could have backpacks to school in Columbia. And then also another story with Darius Robinson, after he got selected, he had a press conference and he did his presser for 15 minutes. And after, as he's leaving, he sees a reporter that he recognized from Mizzou. And he didn't get a chance to ask him questions. He goes to the side and says, "Hey, I recognize you from all my years at Mizzou. Let's do a quick interview." And his agent was telling him, "But no, we got to go. We got to do Sirius XM. We got to go this ESPN interview." He said, "No, I'm going to do this interview with this Mizzou reporter, because he traveled out here, didn't get a chance to say his questions." And I think the high characterness of both of these players and some of the players in today, Max Melton in the 2nd round, again, we'll talk about this more throughout the show, are high-character guys, the founding stones. What do you see from the Eagles? You saw guys like Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox kind of build that organization up. What do you see from the Chiefs? Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones. So you're going to start to see some of those high-character guys that are all football, and I think Monty Ossenfort is killing it right now.
The other thing that I going back real quickly to the Robinson pick at number 27 on Thursday night for the Cardinals, and you talk about the character, and the other thing I think you can start to dive into is the intelligence, the football intelligence, sure, but just the overall smarts. This is a kid that was an academic All-American, and in many respects, it's harder to be an academic All-American than it is just a straight-on football All-American, right? So, I've heard the comments about, well, maybe he's a lot like Isaiah Simmons because they don't know they're going to play him. Maybe, but I don't think that's fair. And I don't like player-on-player comparisons. You got to let these guys come in, make their own way, and see what you got. But to say just offhand that I mean, I'm okay. Like, he reminds me when he plays of a guy, but to say, oh, it's going to turn out like Isaiah Simmons, I think is very unfair to this kid.
I think the thing about the Isaiah Simmons comparison, though, is because Isaiah Simmons, he had the body type of an edge rusher, but he had the speed of a safety. So it was like, where do you kind of put him at? Whereas Darius Robinson, 6'5", 285, it's either going to be he's on the edge or he's going to be a defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. That's it. So to be able to move back and forth with a guy like Darius Robinson, and hey, he might get compared to a guy like Will Anderson Jr. and what the Cardinals did last year.
That wouldn't be terrible.
That wouldn't be terrible. I saw a report that him alongside Will Anderson Jr. are the only two SEC edge rushers in the past couple years that have had a high grading by PFF of 85 or more. So something to look out for when you look at what Will Anderson Jr. did last year and what Darius Robinson.
And again, we're not going to do that deep dive right now, but just real quickly, Cardinal fans, you could hear it on Thursday night.
The chime.
Somewhere around 5:30, 6 o'clock when the pick was in number 4, and they didn't trade. And then they made it official that they selected Marvin Harrison Jr. The collective sigh of relief from the Cardinal faithful, right? I think there's an underlying feeling that you should trust Monty Ossenfort. The draft last year turned out okay. This draft, some of the players, not the specific players, but some of the positions, I'm like, did we really need a running back here? But again, trust Monty is everything you read in the recap of the Cardinals draft is like, well, but it's Monty Ossenfort, so give him a break. But I don't think that he would have ever been able to not pick Marvin or live down not picking Marvin Harrison.
That Marvin Harrison Jr. would have been attached to Monty Ossenfort's name
forever.
For 15, I don't even know, 20, 25, his whole career.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I was going to ask you, Mike Gross, because you've been around the Valley, you've been covering it, radio a long time. When was the last time that you remember a pick like this with the amount of hype around, I guess the amount of sigh of relief, the fans going crazy about him, your franchise quarterback's excited, all this excitement about one prospect, a wide receiver, but not just a wide receiver. This guy can change games. When was the last time you've seen that in the Valley?
Well, you know what? For me, it's more the opposite, where you remember the pick, but then you have to remember that just because you draft Josh Rosen, trade up to get him, doesn't mean it's going to work out. Just because you pick Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart doesn't mean it's going to work out, right? So that's the cautionary tale when you sit here on draft day or shortly after draft day and you assess and you look at and you say, gosh, I really love the pick of Matt Leinart. I can't believe we got a Heisman Trophy winner, because people were absolutely stoked when that happened. And we know how that worked out. And then the former GM, going up to get Josh Rosen, who infamously said, yeah, there's going to be all these teams above me. They're going to be sorry they didn't pick me, right? So I think the NFL has done a marvelous job of making this NFL draft an event. We talked about the crowds in Detroit and the TV ratings that they're sure to announce that they got. But after the dust settles, you got to sit back and wait. And whether it's Marvin Harrison at number 4 or, Xavier Thomas, who just got picked in the 5th round, you have to wait and see what these guys do once they put it on and play for real. That's really, that's the take. But the two that you remember and you were really excited about are Leinart and Rosen. 2 Pac-12 quarterbacks. Didn't work out so great for Cardinals fans. All right, we will do an absolute ton, because Jackson will throw me off the radio if we don't, of NFL draft recap.
We have to.
And we'll keep you up to date. Cardinals with another pick in the 5th round. They just picked the 3rd selection in the 5th round with Xavier Thomas from Clemson. They've got a pick coming up at 27, so we will certainly be on the
9 guys selected by the Cardinals with 3 more to go. Incredible.
We cannot avoid NBA talk. We're here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Love coming out here every Saturday. Big screens are fired up. We've got the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But last night, Jackson Croft, I don't even know what word to use, because the disappointment. If I would have told you that Suns fan would boo the Suns at their first home playoff game, you would have laughed at me. Like, no way, man. No way. This is Phoenix. They're crazy for the Suns. Suns lose to the Timberwolves last night, 126-109. The T-Wolves lead the series 3-0. Where do you start, Jackson? I mean, We picked up the sheets here at the CAZ Sportsbook. They've got the lines for today's NBA games. We'll go through today's games a little later on. But looking ahead, the final game tomorrow is the Timberwolves and the Suns. Tips off at 6:30. Home game for the Phoenix Suns. The Timberwolves are favored right now, 1.5 point favorite, and it's a relatively low point total again. It's a little bit up from last night's 208.5, but the point total tomorrow night is 210.5. But the Timberwolves favored at home against the Phoenix Suns, Game 4.
I mean, look, I think first and foremost, you got to give credit to the Timberwolves because they're playing some of the best basketball that we've seen from this team, specifically Anthony Edwards, 43 minutes last night,
goodness.
11 from 11 from free throws, 36 points. But on top of that, the depth of the Timberwolves when they needed it most, from Alexander, a little from Naz Reid, the sixth man of the year, Conley, Towns, Gobert. I can go on and on and on. And you look at the Suns, it's like, okay, well, I mean, you score more points than you have this entire series.
Right.
Your big three combined for 76 points, and you still lost. So it's like, I don't understand what you want more from your big three. I guess a guy like Devin Booker's got to score 30 to 35 points, but it's just frustrating when a team that was so great offensively all year just can't get things going offensively. And the defensive side of things, they got them going early defensively, but that third quarter, you could tell they were exhausted. The Timberwolves adjusted, and you went on a 36-20 run. That pretty much opened the game for the Timberwolves. What stood out to you?
When you take a look at this series, look, I didn't think they were going to sweep them. I personally felt the Suns would win based on how they played this team in the regular season.
We said like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Suns.
absolutely. The Suns have not been within 10 points in any of these games. The closest game was Game 2 in Minneapolis, 105-93. I mean, you lose by 25 in the opener. You lose last night. Your first game at home. Hey, it's not a series till somebody loses on their own home court. That's NBA 101, right? Well, it happened. It happened, 126-109, and this thing is in danger of not even going back to Minneapolis. So to answer your question, I don't know what stood out for me specifically other than to say, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
and you listened to Kevin Durant before the game last night? Like, I was driving around listening, and the flagship had some sound, talking about him. We're done talking. We're done. We just got to do. Devin Booker after the game last night said, "Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that a team hadn't come back after going down 3-0." And look, this is not me because there's no way in the heck that I would ever presume to question the effort, the energy. Like, I hear people say, "Well, the energy stink." Kevin Durant. I can't even imagine what it's like to be Kevin Durant. All I can say is from a fan's perspective to look on and say, here's the frustration that you feel, right? You're sitting in the same boat as the Lakers. Lakers were in the play-in tournament. They advanced. They got the Nuggets. You're both down 3-0. You both lost a game on your home court. You're about ready to be swept out like the Lakers.
You know what's the similarities between both the Suns and the Lakers? It's like the Lakers have, now they re-signed Reeves to that big contract. Reeves, Davis, and LeBron. And then let's sign everybody, and every single year you see a different roster going year in and year out.
Yep.
You're starting to see that with the Phoenix Suns. And I'm wondering if this method is going to work long term because you got teams like the Timberwolves who are having the same method and the same, strategy as what Denver Nuggets have. Let's get a couple guys in the draft, maybe, a couple guys in free agency like they've got Gobert, and just kind of build everyone up and have some veterans like Conley to mix in, sprinkle in there, and you see a 126-109 victory. I think the Timberwolves, you got to give credit to them. They're playing well right now, and they are one game away from a great series we're about to see against the Nuggets.
All right, Jackson, our EPL pick of the week from Ryan Cirk, our national champion. He hit it last week, and he's back at it again this week. He's got Manchester City tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Arizona time. They're playing at Nottingham Forest. I love that. Nottingham Forest, the City Ground in Nottingham, England, is the site as the Man City and Nottingham Forest get underway. He likes Man City minus 1.5. That's a pick you can get right now at minus 108. He thinks they blow out Nottingham Forest. If you're interested, the goal total on that one sits at 3.5. But our pick of the week from Ryan Cirk, take Man City minus 1.5 tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Arizona time. Each and every week, we do our EPL pick of the week. All right, we'll step aside here, catch our collective breaths. We hit in a short amount of time, but we're going to jump back and talk some NFL draft after the break. But we will return to the Phoenix Suns. Heck, I mean, it might be our last chance to do it. I mean, this series could be over,
right.
and the season could be over tomorrow. So we'll give it a little bit of attention. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Monday on The Drive, we recap a big Cardinals draft weekend. Did they check all of the boxes, or what are the biggest priorities remaining? Plus a status check on the Phoenix Suns. 6:05 on The Drive, Fox Sports 910 and your free iHeartRadio app.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every #1 sports bar.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close up access to the future of women's 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Texting 64,000. You agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Elite Rockmasters LLC on the air, reminding everyone to slow down in our child-populated areas, parks, school zones, so kids stay alive. Elite Rockmasters LLC, serving the area with quality and pride. Whether residential, commercial work, For all your projects, visit EliteRockMasters.com or call 623-229-4805. 229-4805. Elite Rockmasters, LLC.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
I thought this was going to be a live look-in from Detroit with the music.
The little Eminem there. Good stuff, Richie. Man,
I love what the. Let me caveat this by a little bit. The NFL, they are gurus at making money, right? So but kind of how they've turned this draft into a traveling thing, and you give a city like Detroit an opportunity to do what they did, and for the fans in Detroit to turn out the way they did. I don't know where the draft is next year, but I remember Green Bay. Okay, same thing. Like, I'm sure they'll roll out the red carpet. Shit, it could be snowing in Green Bay.
I know it's gonna be a cold one. I heard it was cold in Detroit too. It looks like it's sunny today, but
yeah, they had Nashville, and so I think it's cool what they're doing, and so every city's going to try to one up the next city and put it out. Bringing Barry Sanders out. My goodness, that was a lot of fun, and the way they they had Eminem poking fun at the commissioner, I thought was pretty funny as well. So, like I said, it's hard for me to say good job NFL because what their ulterior motive is. But good job NFL.
I think definitely when it first started out, I think Chicago is one of the first cities.
Right, yeah.
Nashville is one of the first cities. Kansas City, and now you're starting to see it as a competition where Detroit now broke the record. I don't know the specific number, but they had to get 50,000 people today to break the record. And
they had 275,000 people standing around before when that draft was started at downtown Detroit. And I'm with you. I'm like, damn, I want to be on my couch with my laptop watching what's going on, not in the throngs of people, but good for them. Good for them. Good for the fans having an event and showing out. And like I said, it pains me to say this, but good job, NFL. Even though I know what you're up to. It's all about making money. Anyways, draft continues, Jackson, and since we're giving shout outs, but we don't have an exceptionally long segment here. Since we're giving shout outs, this is my chance to give you a shout out.
Oh no.
And I said, I was sitting on the couch and I had my laptop fired up, and one of the things I had open was the app formerly known as Twitter, and I had Jackson Groff up, and I was looking at, all right, here's his mock draft, and I was like, all right, I didn't even look at number one because that was a slam dunk.
Yeah, no 1 through 3 was pretty chalk.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, say 4.
They ESPN did a good job. Like, do you really go? Drake May. Then okay, it was 1, 2, 3. And then, you stuck with it. You didn't call a trade for the Cardinals, and they went Marvin Harrison. And then, Joe Alt to the Chargers. So, you nailed 1 through 5. And I'm like, all right, maybe he's got something here. And then we flip over and go to the next picks. Here's the thing. You were good. And again, this is complimentary, my friend. I think the Falcons screwed you up more than you screwed.
Oh my gosh, Michael Penix Jr. at 8. Yeah, definitely was on a good run with Malik Neighbors at 6.
Yep.
J.C. Latham at 7, and
that's that one right there. That's when I was like, all right, Jack.
Yeah.
Now
Latham was the guy. You talk about sports betting and stuff. His odds, I think last week he was plus 2,800 to go on number 7, pick number 7, and then the morning of went up to like plus 200. So his odds dropped tremendously, but yeah, Michael Penix at 8. And right when I got my mock draft out, I texted my buddy. I said, I think Roma Dunze is going to go at 9, and so he did do that at 9. And we would have JJ McCarthy going at 10, which I had him at 11. And I kind of felt with all the hype of JJ, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It kind of felt like Will Levis, not as a drastic drop as Will Levis did when he dropped all the way to the 3rd or 2nd round. But for JJ McCarthy, it just felt media driven, but deservingly so there at 10. I think it's a good fit, and we'll talk more, about what quarterback fits and stuff like that. But overall, a good first round.
Yeah, real quickly, we're in the draft room. We're in the war room for the Falcons. Help me understand this pick. Help if you're the one pounding the table saying this is what we got to do. Sell the rest of us on why this was a good pick, because I think the universal reaction, including Kirk Cousins, was like, whoa, Did not expect that.
Well, one of the weird things about Michael Penix Jr. and his situation, and it's nothing against Michael Penix Jr., he's worth a top 10 pick. In any other team, if the Raiders go up at 8 and go get him, I don't think we're talking about this today. But with the Falcons and what they did with Kirk Cousins' contract, giving him $100 million guaranteed, Penix being kind of an older guy, now they're kind of set on the same exact track. Kirk Cousins being a 4-year deal, rookies being in the first round, 4-year deal with the 5th-year option. By the time the 4 years is done with Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr., folks, will be 28 years old, which I don't know if it's a concern or whatever, but you got to think, too. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm going to give you an explanation, Gross, on why this makes sense.
Make it sense.
Because last year, 66 quarterbacks played in the NFL. 66 out of for 32 teams, 66 quarterbacks played. So if I'm the Falcons, you got a quarterback coming off of an injury, and apparently they had a private workout with Penix. He didn't have a top 30 visit with the Falcons, but they were impressed with him and how he threw. And if you feel a guy, is going to be the future of the organization, and I know you're in a win now mode, go get yourself Michael Penix Jr. If Kirk Cousins kind of gets hurt and maybe Michael Penix Jr. plays well. We saw this. I compared it to the 49ers with Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy being an undrafted free agent, more value there versus a top 10 pick. But I think it's a win-win situation for the Falcons if Kirk Cousins either, doesn't perform well or, he's hurt and it's not the same Kirk Cousins you're seeing off of an Achilles injury. You got a guy Penix lurking from Kirk Cousins. But, however, Kirk Cousins not knowing about this, definitely something fishy, and I don't think it's going to sit well right now, but they'll get through it throughout the offseason.
Well, there was some question as to whether or not he's even truly healthy with the Achilles, right? And you mentioned he's a little bit older, so us old guys, the older you get, the harder it is to recover from things. So maybe there is something to that they haven't shared, and I think you make a great point. When you look at the NFL in general, and specifically the NFC South, which is a
weak division,
and every year, seemingly, we talked about this, it ended up not being the case, but somebody could have won that division with 7 wins a year ago. It might be a little higher this year, but not that much more. I know Raheem Morris, Terry Fontenot got out in front of it, like they hit it head on with everybody except Kirk Cousins, apparently. But interesting selection by the Falcons that just kind of derailed or things started to go sideways at that point.
So I went on the side of why it makes sense. You go on the side right now on why it doesn't make sense and why the Falcons screwed up at 8.
Well, I think 2 things. Number one, communication, right? If you're going to invest and you had this conversation where you convinced Kirk Cousins, come be our guy. To your point, we gave you a 4-year deal. Whether or not you see that for 4 years, who knows? But we gave you a 4-year deal. You're our guy. So you have to sell a free agent to come to your team. You need your you need your quarterback, your locker room leader to know what you're doing. Not to bless it, not give him veto power, but just so he doesn't come out and say, wow, I was blindsided. Nobody told me. That's a bad look. That's a bad look, and other players see that because the Falcons justifiably have a knock for wasting talent. You look at some of their picks that they've made the last couple of years. Kyle Pitts, what's this guy done? He was supposed to be the next coming. So that to me is the biggest thing. And then the other part of it is, and I get exactly what you're saying, I'm not going to argue that side of it, but the flip side of your argument about from a football standpoint is that's a lot of money and time to be tied up in that position. That's the other thing. I get it. What you said makes sense. And the 66 quarterback, if I'm an NFL GM, you better have a plan B. You better have a plan B. I get that, but it just makes it interesting on the surface of it, the selection of Michael Penix.
And then real quick, this is a situation with Jordan Love. We saw him sit behind Aaron Rodgers and what Pat Mahomes did too. But I saw this tweet, and we'll wrap this up on this. It says, as usual, Twitter is wrong. Michael Penix Jr. is a sharp pick. Cousins, all he has to do is play on your Sunday afternoon games. Penix will handle the primetime games. I thought that was pretty funny.
Interesting. Twitter's always right, I thought.
Oh, Twitter's amazing. You would get every single pick. Obviously, for me, during the draft, I hate when those reporters leak the picks early, but it's cool to see kind of the memes and stuff like that come from these certain selections.
He's Jackson Croft. I'm Mike Gross. More NFL Draft Talk next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Do you ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
If you haven't tried G2G protein bars, today is the day. Find them in your local Costco's refrigerated section or online at g2gbar.com. Incredible taste and packed with protein. They are perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Check them out today.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. # sexy roof status. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
The United Fight League is back with UFL4 powered by F3 Energy. The 2024 schedule kicks off big at Gila River Resort and Casino, Wild Horse Pass. And the first UFL event live streamed on The Kick on Saturday, April 27th and features 2 world title bouts. Aman Moon Cosme takes on Arizona's own Hunter Azur for the inaugural bantamweight title. And the UK's Ashley the Beast Reese battles dangerous Nikolai Varentenikov for the welterweight championship. Tickets at UnitedFightLeague.com. Use discount code FOX910.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino, Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino, Arizona and Talking Stick Resort.
No, I don't see why they would.
Offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Every business faces challenges, but
He's like 28, dude.
uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS,
I still hate that pick a year later. I still don't understand why they took him.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
When the biggest names in college football ascend to join the elite in the NFL, the NFL Draft, and iHeart is your home for the NFL Podcast Network. Get all the insights, trade news, and rumors with podcasts like Around the NFL and Move the Sticks.
Right away, become one of the more terrifying guys at the position.
Open the free iHeart app and search NFL Draft for dozens of podcasts, playlists, and live stations to keep you in the know.
Let's go!
Listen to NFL podcasts on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NFL to start listening.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
I want to go on record here. Last week, I was right about something, and you looked at me like, what? And Richie played, coming out of a break last week, he played the Offspring. And you're like, what? I said, the Offspring are here this week. And you made me feel like maybe I made a mistake. You do that a lot.
I don't mean to.
Because sometimes I actually do it. No, but I was like, yeah, I think the offspring. But then I'm like, oh man, I think I probably said something. They were here last night. The offspring was here last night. I think at I don't know, what do they call the pavilion out by the mall out on the west side now? I don't even know.
Westgate?
Desert Sky. No, Desert Sky. It used to be the Blockbuster.
There's so many concert venues here.
I know. It's the pavilion right off I-10 at 83rd Avenue. I don't know. See, I don't know where they were, but I know they were here. So I'm going to plant that flag.
Feel good about that, Gross.
Like I had that in my brain for a week, questioning myself. And like I said, a lot of times I deserve it. So there you go. All right, we are focused on the NFL draft. We'll get back into some NBA talk here in a little bit, Jackson. But we were talking about the Falcons, their pick of Michael Penix Jr. Let's talk about the quarterbacks because obviously the quarterbacks got the lion's share justifiably the way it played out of the attention. I don't know that we need to talk at all necessarily about the Bears because we knew that was going to happen. But the way it kind of shook out after that, how these quarterbacks fell, and when the music stopped, one team that people thought might be in the play for one of these quarterbacks, the Las Vegas Raiders, they didn't get a quarterback. So all the quarterbacks that should have gone in the first round were gone by the time they picked. So they're like, let's take a tight end. Why not? Right? So your thoughts on after Caleb Williams' pick, how it kind of played out, and your thoughts on the way the quarterback shook out through the first round, ending with the pick of Bo Nix.
Yeah, and I don't want to give myself credit at all or anything like that, but 5 of the 6 quarterbacks selected was around the same fits that I was thinking of. The best fits for every single quarterback. Bo Nix going to the Broncos, J.J. McCarthy, Vikings, Michael Penix Jr. It's funny, I made a mock draft back in January, and I had Michael Penix Jr. going at 8 to the Falcons before Kirk Cousins and stuff like that. It makes sense. It's a good fit there. Drake May with the Patriots is kind of concerning for me just because of how young he is. Hopefully he can develop, and maybe they sit him for a year or just sit him a couple games. They're not going to be a good football team this year, Patriots fans. I'm sorry to blame it to you. Sorry to break the news for you. But him being a young quarterback, I think definitely Phillip Rivers vibes, get Andrew Luck vibes from him. Jaden Daniels and what he wants to do with his legs and his arm. Cliff Kingsbury likes that kind of quarterback, obviously, with Kyler Murray. I think that's a good fit there. And then Caleb Williams. Is there any other organization that you've seen for number one quarterback, number one overall pick, a quarterback going into a great situation like this than Caleb Williams with Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore? He's got Everett, Kmet. He's got DeAndre Sweat. Like, is there ever a greater situation for a quarterback in Caleb Williams to walk into than the Chicago Bears?
I don't think so. And
that's all credit to Ryan Poles.
You know, the number 1 pick, the number 9 pick, add to what they already had. And look, I mentioned a moment ago when we were talking about the Vikings, I said, look, here's a team right now that might be at the bottom of that division. But my little asterisk in my brain said, well, don't forget about the Bears because they figured out a way to screw it up all the time. Am I right? I mean, the fact that we're having this conversation that they were in a position to draft 1 and 9. Now, obviously, the 1 was from Carolina, but the 9 was their own. So it's not like this is a team that, launched and was doing great things on their own. This number 9 pick was theirs, right? So now it's show me time in the Bears if you're a Bears fan, because how many times have they drafted the next quarterback? How many times? I mean,
yeah, they've had a lot of misses there.
And you hear it. It's where quarterbacks go to see their careers dry up and blow away. So I love it right now, but kind of what we said earlier, now you got to show me. So I'm high on the Bears, but you've got to stay competitive. You look at what's going on in that division. Detroit's not going anywhere. Detroit had a great draft, right? You've got the Packers. Is Jordan Love, is he going to be able to build on what he started last year? So J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, 2 rookies. They got a lot of work cut out for them with their respective teams. But right now, you got to love number 1, number 9 for the Bears. The other thing we talked about during the break, I believe it was during the break, was J.J. McCarthy versus Bo Nix. Going to 2 teams where, there's a need. There was an absolute need for that position for both these teams. The Vikings traded up to get J.J. McCarthy, and you made a comment that I'll let you share about what that did. You got the guy you wanted, so there's the plus, but the downside of that pick is blew a hole in the middle of your draft coming up after that first pick, whereas Sean Payton and the Broncos they were on a lot of people's draft boards to say, yeah, they're going to trade up as well. They didn't. They sat tight, and they got Bo Nix and kept whatever draft capital they had. Now, they didn't have a ton of picks anyway, but they kept what they had because here's a team that has a lot of work, and you can't afford to make mistakes and then compound mistakes by giving away draft picks.
Yeah, and I think with J.J. McCarthy, I know some people had him going to the Giants as a possibility, and people going back and saying, I don't know about Malik Neighbors being there at 6. They should have went quarterback, but when you sign a quarterback and Daniel Jones for so long, go get him another weapon, and Malik Neighbors was a good selection there. But I think for the Vikings, they just didn't want to sit there and just wait one more pick for them to get selected. They didn't want to just be like, okay, we're going to wait and see. Hopefully no one trades up with the possibility of the Broncos going up and getting J.J. McCarthy. Who knows? Sean Payton came out and said they've always wanted Bo Nix, but they kind of tricked the Vikings into thinking that they wanted J.J. so they could go up to 10, but you never know what the Raiders were going to do there at 13 if they wanted to go and get J.J. or stay put. But I like this fit for J.J. McCarthy going in. Again, you talk about the Bears being a great situation, the Vikings being the second best great situation with you got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison, you got a good defense as well. And I think really Kevin O'Connell and his play scheme and what he wants to do offensively, and a guy who's more athletic with his legs than what he saw with Kirk Cousins, I think it's a good fit there. And then for Bo Nix, which we talked about how immediate impact, if you compare the two, I think obviously J.J. McCarthy's going to have immediate impact. But you look kind of long-term and kind of similar playing styles with Drew Brees, you're a fan of him. Bo Nix to the Broncos is a good selection there and a good fit long-term.
Real quickly, since we like to focus on the local kids, Spencer Rattler, formerly of Pinnacle High School, just drafted by the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
Spencer Rattler, and that guy that, his name was like, hey, where does he land in this draft? We'll get back to Spencer here in just a minute. I want to stay on this point. I like I said, I just, I'm a Michigan guy, so I hope J.J. McCarthy kills it, right? So that's the starting point. He won a national championship for the Wolverines, right? So that's where I'm starting from. I look at now, J.J. McCarthy trading up to get him. I don't get the ascension of J.J. McCarthy through this draft personally. Wait and see. I might be completely out in left field here. Bo Nix, on the good side for the Broncos and Sean Payton with this pick. They didn't have to get, as I said a moment ago, no draft picks surrendered. He came to you, and you got a quarterback. Might not have been the quarterback you wanted, all things being equal, but you got a quarterback, and you get to keep the pick. The pressure on this team and this coach, and indirectly this quarterback now, is so high. So it'll be interesting to see how Bo Nix handles this, because Sean Payton, he bought Russell Wilson to Denver. And clearly we know how that played out, right? And so this is a pick that's going to decide the future of Sean Payton in Denver. And I believe Sean Payton is on an exceptionally short leash right now. If this goes sideways, if Bo Nix can't step in and take the coaching that he's going to get from this head coach, and you know what I mean when I say coaching, a lot of behind doors, it's going to be fascinating to watch this whole thing unfold with the Broncos this offseason and as training camp opens up this summer.
I think two things. One, it's fascinating that him and Bo Nix and Zach Wilson are the same age, both 24. Kind of see the perspective on what it's like to play longer in college football and develop versus leaving early. Maybe, thinking, okay, I'm going to go number 2 in the draft, and I get it for Zach Wilson at the time, but you never know a new situation for Zach Wilson, what he'll do with Denver. But secondly, we are a sports betting show. The odds came out already for the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year odds for quarterbacks and for all offensive players. So let's start from the top. Caleb Williams plus 210. He is your favorite for the Offensive Rookie of the Year, followed by Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 600. Jaden Daniels plus 1,000, tied with J.J. McCarthy. And then you go down for quarterbacks, Drake May plus 2,000, Bo Nix plus 3,000, and Michael Penix Jr. plus 6,000. If you were a betting man right now, you say value. I get Caleb Williams plus 210. You could go there, but you got to put a lot more money if you want to see some income, some big profit. Where would you put your money at? If you had $5-10 right now, you say, hey, I'm going to put $5 on this guy.
I would say, and at the risk of sounding like a homer, right? You got to go non-quarterback on that list, just because you know how hard it is for quarterbacks to transition into this league.
C.J. Stroud
is the exception to that rule. So I would go non-quarterback. So to your point, what's Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 600?
Plus 600.
Maybe. There's a lot of holes on this team, though, and And a lot of it's performance versus expectation too, right? Because you look at Caleb Williams didn't win the Heisman Trophy last year, right? Performance versus expectations. You won it the year before, so therefore the bar is higher for you. Marvin Harrison Jr., you were drafted number 4, therefore you need to be better than all these other wide receivers if it doesn't go to a quarterback. So, hey, on the other side, I want to talk about this. We talked about last week and leading up to the draft, what's defense going to look like in the first round? And we're like, maybe the Falcons, right? We said maybe the Falcons at 10 or 8, excuse me, when they drafted. No, it was much lower than that. We'll get into that coming up on Fox Sports.
The Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. Time to win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yet. When you hear the keyword at the top of the weekdays from 9 to 5. Enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000. Powered by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner & Rowe today, 977-1900.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th. With the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail, and the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
A homeowner just like you decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial, state48roofing.com.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and...
I don't think so.
Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
The United Fight League is back with UFL4 powered by F3 Energy. The 2024 schedule kicks off big at Gila River Resort and Casino, Wild Horse Pass, and the first UFL event live streamed on The Kick on Saturday, April 27th, and features 2 world title bouts. Aman Moon Cosme takes on Arizona's own Hunter Azur for the inaugural bantamweight title, and the UK's Ashley the Beast Reese battles dangerous Nikolai Varentenikov for the welterweight championship. Tickets at UnitedFightLeague.com. Use discount code FOX910.
Whether you're looking for a bay window awning over a breakfast nook, a shade sail or structure in your home or business, a retractable awning.
Yeah, I think so.
Or roll curtains for your screen room. The House of Kings.
He was there. I mean, he came in after he came in the whole Isaac Bruce.
Data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold?
I was thinking about it this week. I was like, I'm a fan of 2 teams that have moved. What are the odds of that?
Out the window. Window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Anderson, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text HOME to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality
the same way, dude.
patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text HOME.
I hope the Rams take Brandon Rice here.
HOME to 200-300. Don't wait. Text HOME to 200-300.
Back to Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CLRT Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Rolling along from the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. Loop 101 in McKellips. Nice crowd in here this morning. People coming in for lunch. Bunch of guys hanging out down by the Sportsbook. And we're here, but they've got NFL draft on the big screens, NBA playoffs. I think I saw some NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricane and the New York Islanders. So come on by, have some lunch, hang out, and we'd love to see you here at the CAZ Sportsbook. All right, before the break, we talked about this, and even in the weeks leading up to the draft, we talked about all the movement with the quarterbacks and how this is going to shake out. And this was a very top-heavy with quarterbacks in that very upper echelon. You had some really high-caliber, high-quality wide receivers, some offensive tackles in there. We're like, well, where's this first defensive player going to come off the board? Because if you were a team that had defensive needs, you were kind of in a position to sit back and wait and see how this whole thing unfolds. And initially, I believe we talked about the fact that maybe Dallas Turner goes to Atlanta might have been a sexy pick at the time. As it turned out, Jackson, you had at number 15, the Colts took Latu. I hope I said that right.
You said it right.
Did I?
That was good work.
Lucky
good job.
From UCLA at number 15. First defensive player comes off the board at 15, and then you had Dallas Turner a couple picks after that to the Minnesota Vikings to go with their selection of J.J. McCarthy. Chop Robinson at 21. From Penn State goes to the Miami Dolphins. Of course, we already talked about Darius Robinson from Missouri to the Cardinals. And then your first cornerback off the board, all the way down at number 30, Nate Wiggins out of Clemson.
22 also. 22.
Oh, did I skip 22? I was going right past it.
You're good.
Yes, I did. So two corners in the opening round. But really, value picks if you're in need of a defensive player where you can sit back and wait and see how all this jockeying position and fighting unfolded. And if I'm a general manager in that war room and thinking, all right, Atlanta's going to be the one that gets the ball rolling here, I'm like, whoa, like this is crazy. And if you're one of these teams that picked up a defensive player, you got to be pretty pleased right now.
Yeah, and it's not that the defensive players and the defensive side of the ball is a weakness in this draft. It's just the overpowering of the offensive tackles and the wide receivers and the quarterbacks from this draft class. But we thought, as early, like you said, edge rusher going in at the 8th pick or potentially a cornerback. I know some had the Raiders or even the Broncos going in Quinyon Mitchell, but this is a home run. This is a win for teams that needed defensive needs. The Rams going out and get their guy Jared Verse at 19. How about Chop Robinson at 21? Him alongside Bradley Chubb is going to be a fun duo to watch. But for me, Gross, if I had to say the winner of the first round pick in terms of defensive players is the Eagles staying at 22 and getting Quinyon Mitchell, the number 1 corner in the draft, followed by the Lions getting Terrion Arnold at 24. I think those are the 2 top corners, 2 teams that needed corners with the Eagles and the injuries they saw last year with the cornerbacks, or the Lions with Sutton and all the issues that he had. He was their solidified number 1 corner until he's been dealing with all this off the field stuff. They got to get rid of him, and now you've got a guy in Terrion Arnold, Alabama corner, Alabama DB. You talk about a school in Alabama that produces defensive backs. I think it's a win for those 2, as well as, Nate Wiggins slipping down there for Clemson, and the Arizona Cardinals getting an edge rusher at 27, not having to move up. And it would be cool to get a Jared Verse or Chop Robinson or a Dallas Turner, but them not trading up. I mean, you've got a guy in Darius Robinson that's the biggest out of all of them. And is there that much room? Is there that much gap in between a guy like Jared Verse or Dallas Turner and Darius Robinson? I think you stick put, and I think the Cardinals got their guy at 27.
And I think you make a great point, because lost in all the euphoria of the Cardinals get Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4 and now Darius Robinson at number 27 without moving up, is this is a team still with a tremendous amount of needs. And so I think your point that you're trying to make is, yeah, you don't have the luxury of giving up all these picks that Monty Ossenfort worked very hard to accumulate. And so to be able to stay there and get a guy that fits a bill and wasn't a huge drop-off is a good outcome for the Cardinals.
So what do the defensive rookie of the year's odds look like in courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook, FanDuel, and etc.? Dallas Turner is the odds-on favorite at plus 450, followed by Latu at plus 800, Jared Verse plus 1,000, Quinyon Mitchell plus 1,000, Terrion Arnold plus 1,000, Byron Murphy plus 1,200, and goes on and on and on. Which one sticks out to you, Mike Gross, for your defensive rookie of the year early on that you put some $5 on?
I actually like Chop Robinson.
Ooh.
You know, because, again, it's hard.
Sneaky pick.
A good team where I think the edge guys have a better opportunity to get in your mind about, if I'm a voter, like, oh man, this guy's got it, right? You know, nothing against the corners, but it's a little bit more difficult position to do. Hey, real quickly as we wrap up this hour, and we've got a whole nother hour to come up. We'll do some Suns and more draft. Shout out to Brendan McConville and the whole McConville family. His father is a friend of mine going through some health stuff. Give him a shout out. Send him our positive best wishes and a speedy recovery. We're thinking about you and want you to make, like I said, a very full recovery. Our one is in the books. We're out here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Richie back at the studio. We'll step aside here, take care of some top-of-the-hour business. More of Take the Points from the CAZ Sportsbook coming up next right here on Fox Sports 910.
You're clear.
Take the Points has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
There are many signs that you may be in financial trouble. Late mortgage payments, paying bills from your retirement account, or paying one credit card with another. If you're experiencing financial hardship, bankruptcy may be right for you. The credit industry wants you to believe that bankruptcy is bad and will destroy your credit forever, but that's just not true. At Lerner & Rowe Law Group, we'll take the time to carefully examine your situation and develop a plan that is right for you. Call Lerner & Rowe Law Group today for a free consultation.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Sean Forster, Managing Attorney.
Do you ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Rockin' the Nooch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
With Progressive Insurance, we make it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you will earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
2024 NFL Draft. iHeart is your home for the NFL Podcast Network. With podcasts like Around the NFL and Move the Sticks. Listen to NFL podcasts on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NFL to start listening.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday from 10 to 1. Sports 910, KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix.
In the NHL, the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Islanders at the end of the first period of Game 4 of their first-round series. Hurricanes a 3-0 lead in the series, 1-0 lead in the game. Right now, again, that's at the end of the first period. In the NFL draft, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson, linebacker, was just drafted by the team his dad played for, the Philadelphia Eagles. He'll be returning home with an opportunity to play for his hometown team and his family team. I'm Martin Weiss.
The Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
A fantastic Saturday out there. We'll top out around 80 degrees under the sunshine. Overnight, clear skies and 60. And your Sunday, a great finish to the weekend. Plenty of sunshine, a warmer 87. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local businesses, so you move matter. Visit America.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
Take the Points is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points. Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2. Jackson Groff, Mike Gross, we're out here at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona. Already had breakfast. They hooked us up as usual. And now we are doing the radio show, watching the NFL draft, watching the NBA playoffs, watching the NHL playoffs. And Jackson, you said something to me that was kind of interesting here a moment ago as we have the Cavaliers and the Magic on. And you're like, man, as a Suns fan, I'm kind of jealous watching what's going on in Orlando right now.
Yeah, because you got a team in the Cavs who won both of their home games being up 2-0, and you just seen the Magic just punch them in the mouth and play with the physicality, the hunger to come back in the series and take advantage of the moment. The Magic and the Cavs in Game 3, the Magic won 121-83, and at halftime, the Magic were down 8 points. Since then, they've been on a 47-13 run and are up by 25 points. This series completely flipped around on what you saw in the first 2 games. Now you've got a hungry Magic these first 2 games with all the momentum in the world. But Game 5, Gross, going back to Cleveland. So it's going to be fun to see how the Cleveland Cavaliers respond if the Magic can keep this momentum going.
I can't remember the last time I heard somebody who's a Suns fan say, I'm jealous of what's happening.
It's just
in
you
Orlando.
wish you had that with
I get
the
it.
Suns.
I get it. No, 100% I get it.
We did not see that last night from the Phoenix Suns, the want, the hunger. And for the Phoenix Suns right now, it's not only, I mean, obviously things aren't clicking offensively, but it's the little things you hear, the turnovers, taking care of the basketball, getting the most efficient shot every single time. And they're figuring out defensively sometimes, but sometimes you got Anthony Edwards or a guy like Alexander that'll hit a 3 and the momentum switches there too.
We're deep into the opening round of the NBA playoffs. This game in Orlando went off with the Magic as 2.5-point favorites, and the total, and they're going to struggle to hit this, that was 201.5 with about 7.5 to go in this game. It is right in that 170-something range as we watch this one. So we'll see what happens down the stretch there. Coming up next, Jackson, about 12:30 or so, you've got the Thunder and the Pelicans. That game in New Orleans as the Oklahoma City Thunder are a 1.5 favorite. 210.5 is your point total there.
You think that's 1.5 low because of the home court advantage with the Pelicans? I mean, we know how great of an atmosphere that is for playoffs in New Orleans. But without Zion Williamson and what you saw with the Thunder, I'd kind of almost lean towards OKC minus 1.5 here, Gross.
I do not disagree. I was right when I was reading those numbers. I'm like, damn, that's kind of low. And I get it. You're in New Orleans, and you have to love that atmosphere, but you're missing a superstar there. And without him, they are it's Captain Obvious. They are a much different team than they are with him. Coming up at 3 o'clock, you've got from South Florida, you've got the Celtics and the Heat. 9.5-point favorites are the Boston Celtics. 203.5 is your point total, Jackson.
Now, what type of Boston Celtics team are we going to see tonight against the Miami Heat? Are we going to see in the first game when they were efficient from three, shooting 45, 50% from three, or the second game, 37%, 12 of 32, when that upset happened with the Miami Heat? And I think the Boston Celtics, if I recall correctly, in game 2, 14.5-point favorite. And the money line for the Miami Heat was plus 600.
Yeah.
Right now, the Miami Heat, 14.5-point underdog is what you said, I think, or 10.5.
9.5 tonight.
9.5.
3 o'clock today, our time.
So, look, your thoughts about this game?
Look, we said this before the playoffs started about the Celtics, but it's still concerning when it happens. Here's a team that won the East by 14 games, right? They weren't tested down the stretch. They weren't tested the final month of the season. Really nothing to play for, right? And you said, can they keep that focus? Can they keep that intensity throughout the course of the postseason? And clearly the answer to that question is a resounding no. When you lose by double digits at home in the playoffs, right? Now, am I ready to write off the Celtics? No, of course not. But you just have to wonder whether or not they can figure out how to keep that intensity, that momentum going. Maybe this loss in game 2 is a wake-up call for them. Again, they're 9.5-point favorites on the road. So clearly, the people that set the numbers feel the same thing about this Celtics team. But if you're a fan of this team, certainly, but just watching it, you have to wonder, how do you let something like that happen if you're the Celtics?
There's a bet that I like. I'm looking at prop bets right now at 3-pointers. I'm more lean towards some of these unders for the Boston Celtics being on the road at Miami, especially Jaylen Brown under. He's minus 146. And then Jason Tatum under 2.5 3-pointers is plus money if you want to look at props there. The third game, Mike Gross, and this one could be end of a time. Could it be the end of an era for LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers? Nuggets go to the Lakers. Nuggets are 4-point favorite at the Lakers. Your thoughts about this game, your thoughts about this series, Nuggets, Lakers, either side.
Either side. Look, there are no moral victories in the playoffs. If you think about game 2 in Denver, and a lot of people felt like the Lakers had that game won, right? And to come away, the way it played out, the disappointment, you come home and you can't recover, you can't overcome whatever happened. And if you're not going to win game 3, we know what happens once a team goes down 3-0 in that 7-game series. So I look, they may, if there's a little bit of a, what they call it, a dead cat bounce, where it just it's going to hit the ground and maybe get a little life out of it here. But if it's not in 4, it's going to be in 5. But if you made me make my selection right now for this game tonight, again, you mentioned Nuggets 4-point favorites. I'm going with the Nuggets on this one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree on that one. It's going to be interesting to see with LeBron James. I believe he's a free agent this summer. What he decides to do there. Do they kind of revamp the roster? Every single year for the Los Angeles Lakers, it's just different role players on 1-year deals. It's what you're seeing with the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Who are some guys they keep? I think Reeves is obviously a home run hit. I think Anthony Davis is actually probably having one of his best, I'd say, playoff series personally.
Yep.
Having the go against Jokic on the defensive side, but also being effective on the offensive end. But you really start to wonder what's going to happen with this Lakers team. Those first 2 close games, and especially game 2 when they were up. I think at one point they were up 15 points around the second or third quarter to blow that lead and to lose off a buzzer beater. It's definitely a harsh reality for the Lakers that their playoff time might be done and might be time for LeBron James to start looking elsewhere.
And you called this before the playoffs started. Keep an eye on the Philadelphia 76ers as they were getting healthy. That's tomorrow's first game from Philadelphia. Knicks winning both games on the home court. Relatively close games. Double-digit win, 11-point win for the Sixers in Game 3. But the thing about this one that you love about Eastern Conference basketball, this feels like a 1980s series, right, where there's basketball being played, but there's flagrant fouls and bad blood, and these two cities don't like each other anyways. And so it's just ramping up the rhetoric, ramping up the noise around this. Joel Embiid doing what superstars do. He scored 50 in a game, in a playoff game, and carried his team, right? I'm not pointing fingers or anything like that, but I'm just saying. But Joel Embiid come back healthy. This is a fascinating series.
I think it really is, and I think it's going to be the home court series and what you saw with the Knicks and Jalen Brunson, and it's like the Villanova Wildcats, the Villanova Knicks, or the New York Wildcats, whatever you want to call them over there. But you've got 2 exciting shooters on both sides. Tyrese Maxey stepped up well and played well in the series. But you look at the sportsbooks right now, they still have the Knicks as a heavy favorite minus 250 to win the series against the 76ers, even though the 76ers are a 4.5-point favorite for tomorrow's game.
Well, I think it's just what you said. It's the home court thing, right? Tomorrow's in Philly, but there's still 2 more games at Madison Square Gardens. Tomorrow's second game from Dallas, you've got the Mavericks and you've got the Clippers. Interesting one there. The Mavericks 5.5-point favorites on their home court.
Yeah, Luka Doncic just playing phenomenal right now. 22 points, 10 rebounds last night. Kyrie Irving, not the typical Kyrie Irving we like to see. They're still kind of sometimes they have great nights, sometimes they don't with chemistry, but 21 points isn't bad. But on the defensive end, though, to stop Kawhi Leonard and to be able to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combined for 16 points, yeah, I think you're going to win that game with guys like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on your offense.
This is one of the series, too, where we talked about, home court advantage and the ability to, I don't want to say steal if you're the Mavericks, but get a win on the other team's court. And the energy that gave the Mavericks by taking game 2 in Los Angeles, I think is huge. And maybe not all that surprising because I think there was a lot of people that were not all in on the Clippers anyway, but to see that happen, I think I think gives my confidence and the Mavericks and the rest of the series.
So you talked before, and you were talking about how the NBA playoffs right now kind of a slow start in round 1. There's some great games, and I think the day when it was the Knicks Sixers. When DiVincenzo had that big shot and then Jamal Murray had that shot, the back-to-back. Yeah. That day was a great day for NBA playoffs. But besides that, it's been kind of some blowouts back and forth. What are your thoughts about the second round potential of Timberwolves Nuggets? You've got Mavericks Thunder. And then the other side of things, you could either see the Sixers Knicks facing the Pacers. And then you got the Celtics taking on I'm missing a team.
The Bucks?
The Bucks, yeah, correct. They would play the Pacers. The Celtics would be playing the Pacers. The 76ers or the Knicks would be playing. I'm so lost. Yeah, I'm so lost. I'm so sorry for radio people or for people driving right now that are screaming at the radio, NBA playoffs, like, oh, you don't know the picture and we're getting it mixed up.
Well, you pull up the bracket for that one. That's the one series we didn't talk about was the Pacers Bucks. In the East, and it's right now the answer is not the Bucks, it's the Pacers, right? Because the Pacers are up 2-1 in this one as they play tomorrow. That game at 4:00 Arizona time. Pacers are 7.5-point favorites over the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow. If they win that one, they go up 3-1.
Yeah, so I've got the bracket pulled up now. My fault for all the radio audience out there, but Celtics would be playing the winner. Celtics Heat. You never know, the Heat could come back.
No.
1-1. They'd be playing the winner of the Cavs, Magic, Bucks, or the Pacers. Probably Pacers at 2-1 with Dame Lillard injury in Game 3. We'll be playing the winner of the Sixers and the Knicks. Nuggets, Timberwolves, Mavs, Thunder. What excites you most about potentially that second round? Do you think it's going to start to ramp up a little bit in the NBA playoffs in terms of closer games?
I hope so. I hope so. Because I haven't seen that level of intrigue or excitement. And a lot of it's because what's happening here locally, right? Because everything starts local. And, just the utter disappointment in the local team, how they've performed through 3 games. But the rest of these series, it was going to take a lot to get excited about the Mavericks and the Clippers anyway. So I think when you advance to the next round and you get the teams that are playing well, you hope for that. But, again, is there anybody on that list that we think can come out as the lower seed? And, is that enough to drive it, right? And you look at the Pacers. Are you excited about the Pacers advancing in the East? The East lacks some of the sexiness right now that the West does.
The Magic moving on, kind of a younger team. The Pacers, to your point, the Sixers being a 7 seed. If they were to advance, it's kind of brings up the repertoire, brings up the blue bloods on the Eastern Conference side. But to your point, Gross, the only lower seed on the West that could make a run that's playing well would be the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Thunder have been playing well too. They're kind of the 1 seed, but you look at them as a lower seed compared to the teams like the Nuggets and the Timberwolves and what they've done so far in the playoffs.
And I understand the Mavs are the lower seed, but as I said a minute ago, that's a 4-5, right? So you're close there anyway. And the fact that a lot of people were down on the Clippers down the stretch anyway, and when you look at how they played, and Dallas doing, ask Suns, what the Dallas Mavericks are capable of in the postseason when they decide to do it. And you're seeing that, again, as they go up 2-1 and get ready for that game 4 from Dallas tomorrow.
So real quick, let's look at the odds. Eastern Conference and Western Conference odds. Currently, the Celtics are favored -195, followed by the Knicks at +500, Sixers +1,000, Pacers at +1,300. You go to the Western Conference, minus money again. Nuggets -110, Timberwolves +420, Thunder +460, Mavericks +500, and then for obviously the NBA Finals, you've got the Celtics favored at +130, followed by the Denver Nuggets at +240.
That just shows you what everybody thinks of this Boston Celtics team and how just frustrating that loss was to the Heat in Game 2. And the other thing that I'll say is just, not necessarily even from a gambling standpoint, Jackson, but just looking at the New York Knicks, the resurgence of the Knicks and that iconic franchise and that iconic building, having them be absent from the playoffs for so long, to have them come in as the number 2 seed. And if they survive and advance past this Sixers team, I think that's good for the game. I think it's good for the NBA to have that team that plays in Madison Square Garden. Every game will be on ABC. They're going to be playing primetime games. I just think it's cool for the NBA to have those teams. I'm not a fan of any of these really iconic franchises, but when college football is better when the Fighting Irish are better, right? Or the Pac-12 needed USC to be good. It's kind of like that with the New York Knicks. Hey, we want to talk a little bit more about the Phoenix Suns on the other side, and still some draft talk to come, and then hopefully Richie and the rest of us. Did we get picks in yet?
Oh, we are getting our picks in shortly. We're talking about Casey.
Well, Richie gets in.
Oh, Richie, of course.
And Casey from the Sportsbook, is he here? That's what I was pointing at.
He is here.
Okay, cool. We'll do our picks in the final segment of the day. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Monday on The Drive, we recap a big Cardinals draft weekend. Did they check all of the boxes, or what are the biggest priorities remaining? Plus a status check on the Phoenix Suns. 6:05 on The Drive, Fox Sports 910 and your free iHeartRadio app.
When you use your electric vehicle in autopilot or self-driving mode, accidents can still happen. Whether you're considered at fault or not, you may still have a claim. Lerner & Rowe has a dedicated team skilled in this new science. We are the first law firm in America with the ability to review the proprietary software and hold electric vehicle manufacturers responsible. If you or a loved one were injured in an electric vehicle accident, call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag sexy roof status. At State 48 Roofing, we are family owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part, we don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
Enter for a chance to win G2G protein bars for an entire year. Text G2G to 59925. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard message and data rates apply. Text G2G to 59925. G2G protein bars. Fresh, healthy, and delicious. Now available at Costco.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located
all right, sounds good.
Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days.
No, it was close actually, but I think he ended up getting like 52 in that game one.
Every day.
Because he was also bad. He had a bad first half, and then
the number one
bad first half.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for is finally here. It's Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jeff Dye back in the ring for an all-new season of the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
That's right, Freddie. Get ready as we highlight the most.
Yeah, I can't believe he did that. He's done that twice already in his career.
Turns and
there's only like 3 other guys that have done it, and it was like Shaq.
Can't wait to hear from you. Federation. Without you guys,
there's Dave Cowan.
Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Jackson Groff, Mike Gross out here at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. We'll get back to the NBA talk here in just a minute, Jackson, but the Arizona Cardinals just made their second pick of the 5th round, and what do you think?
Yeah, they got Christian Jones, offensive tackle from Texas, 6'5", 305, big boy. And like you mentioned, too, at the break, if you come from a school from Texas, blocking for a guy like Bijan Robinson, you got to be pretty good. So for Jones, he started 48 games and lined up at both tackle spots at Texas. And I think that right there is why the Arizona Cardinals drafted him. He's versatile, can play both sides. You got rid of DJ Humphries. You need some offensive tackle depth. So now the Arizona Cardinals have the most picks so far. They've had 10 selections, Mike Gross. They've had 10 selections. They've got 2 offensive tackles, 2 edge rushers, 2 cornerbacks, a running back, a safety, a tight end, and a wide receiver. Your thoughts about Christian Jones and just what you've been seeing so far for today's day 3 picks?
Well, the thing that you said while we were talking during the break is the versatility. When you can come in and provide that versatility out of a program like Texas, that's the key. When you draft offensive linemen late, the salary that this guy's going to be on for the first couple of years, not a big number, and the ability to step in and fill in because just like we talked about 66 quarterbacks played in the NFL a year ago, how many offensive linemen played? Obviously, they play 5 at a time, so the factor's higher, but you get my point. You have to count on the fact that you need guys that can step up and fill in, and it seems like this is the kind of player that can do that. So I like it.
Me too.
I like the versatility.
I'm all for it, and you're starting to see a theme of the guys selected being, like you mentioned, high character guys, but a lot of guys that have played a lot of snaps. You talk about Xavier Thomas. This is a guy that was the #1 player coming out of high school. He's actually the same class as me, which is crazy to think about with COVID and stuff like that, and how he just got drafted and he played 6 years of college, and me being 2 years outside of college there. But
I noticed you've been watching your phone all day, just in case that call comes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not on Disturb. I'm looking for any type of no caller ID or a phone number I don't recognize, specifically one in Phoenix, Arizona from Monty Ossifer. You never know. They have not picked a wide receiver yet, and they got 2 more selections.
There you go. All right, let's jump back, Jackson, to the Phoenix Suns. We'll keep an eye on the draft throughout the course of the rest of the show. If anything interesting pops, we'll let you know. But Phoenix Suns, they are literally playing for their playoff lives. They are down 3-0 after losing last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tomorrow afternoon or evening, I guess, technically 6:30 p.m., final game of the day tomorrow. The Minnesota Timberwolves fans are a 1.5-point favorite with a game being played at the Footprint Center. 1.5-point favorite. Your team is a home underdog. Let that sink in for just a minute. One of the things, and I don't think it should matter, but, man, this is just really, really concerning to me that, I was driving around listening to Sports Talk Radio yesterday and getting ready for the Suns game, and, the news came out that Grayson Allen couldn't go last night. And on the one hand, you're like, darn, Grayson Allen can't go. And you love Grayson Allen. You were on Grayson Allen from the day he got here by way of that trade. But I'm sorry. How do I say this nicely? Grayson Allen not playing shouldn't matter to this team. He's done tremendous things. Matt Ishbia rewarded him with a huge contract extension. But when it comes down to playing a postseason game on your home court, Devin Booker's playing, Kevin Durant's playing, Bradley Beal's playing. I shouldn't be concerned because he can't go. Does that make sense?
That's a good point. It's a good point because when Grayson Allen came on and when the trade happened, I said I just thought he's going to be a role player. I think he's going to be a great 3-point shooter for him, not an impactful player that could decide or win or loss being Grayson Allen. I mean, for him not to play last night and for them to be blown out like that is definitely a concern. But my question to you, Mike Gross, is, okay, 1.5, most likely the Suns are going to lose. What's going to happen this offseason with free agents, including Bol Bol, Royce O'Neal, Thaddeus Young, Isaiah Thomas, Drew Eubanks, Eric Gordon, Damian Lee, Josh Okogie, Saban Lee, Ish Wainwright, and I can go on and on and on. Do they kind of just revamp their bench again? But it's like, how much money do you want to spend? NFL salary cap and NFL free agency is kind of confusing to deal with in money standpoint. NBA is probably even more confusing with the dead cap and how much money Ishbia wants to put out of his own pockets to get guys in the building and to fulfill their bench.
This is gonna take me a minute to get to your point here, but if you're Matt Ishbia, how are you feeling right now? Because you're spending all this money thinking, I'm going to have a lot of playoff games. Because we know that the owners make their money playoff revenue, right? Play the gates, right? Because players are played during the regular season. And if this winds up that they only have 2 home playoff games, that is a huge hit for this new owner to take. And every player that you mentioned, yeah, I've got a question about. But Again, I've said this is not an original thought. I was driving around yesterday doing some errands. I was flipping around Sports Talk Radio in the Valley. There was an actual question seriously posed about what do you do with the big 3 if they go 4 and done?
Oof.
If they get swept out of the playoffs.
1 year?
Is there a scenario that you trade Devin Booker if you're Matt Ishbia? And before this all would have started, I would have been like, what is this? Is this like the Onion Radio? Get me off this. This is a joke, right? But again, when you wrap the financial implications around this conversation, because this big 3 is all you got. You know, they don't have anything in the way of serious draft capital.
Man,
and they don't have anything in the way of any kind of serious cap space unless he just keeps spending and spending and spending, which at some point there's got to be an end. And at some point the other owners are going to say, dude, stop. Like, you can't keep doing this to us. Like, you know, it won't come out publicly, but that's a serious consideration. So I don't know. But if this team goes out after tomorrow night, it's going to be a really, really uncomfortable offseason for everybody, you know, because the big 3, and I don't subscribe to the theory that Devin Booker should go anyway. I want to be really clear about that. But I heard
that's like the Steve Nash's, that's like the Larry Fitzgerald, that's the guys that have built this team to where they are right now that you just don't touch.
But that was a serious conversation being had on Phoenix Sports Talk Radio. And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But besides Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, everybody's expendable. Even Nurkic. What do you do? Yeah, but the owner can't continue. This cannot continue and not have some sort of payback.
I agree with you, and I think you wonder to a point when does Devin Booker start to get angry. And we saw with the Arizona Cardinals and Buda Baker saying, "I want to request a trade. I want more money," and that's what he got there. I'm not saying Devin Booker's going to want more money. He's got a lot of money already. But when does it come to a point where he's like, you know what, I'm done. I've done everything I could. I brought Kevin Durant here. I brought Bradley Beal. But on the other side of things, Gross, Richard Jefferson, you bring him up all the time. Like, it takes a while.
Yeah.
Let's. I think we keep the big 3 there. And I think the Suns just say, hey, let's just continue to build chemistry, find the right fit, and continue on. Like the Nuggets are with Jamal Murray and with Jokic and with Gordon and Porter. Yes, they were more drafted guys, but let them develop for a couple years. Make sure they all get healthy. And the amount of injuries that the Suns have dealt with all year with this big 3 too. And yes, it's disappointing, but it's a work in progress. It's not something overnight, and it's not like what it used to be in the NBA with, let's get LeBron James, Bosh, and D-Wade, they're going to win a title, or what the Warriors did. We're not in that NBA anymore because there's so much offensive talent throughout the entire NBA that you just can't establish. You can't just build a team overnight and expect to win an NBA Finals that year.
And the other thing that I think, if I'm Matt Ishbia and this does come to pass, you take some time to cool off, but seriously have to look at your front office on this one, because I think
James Jones,
I think there's a huge question mark about this team. They decided to go out without a point guard, a legitimate point guard. And I know this is not 1990s or 80s basketball where you need to have Isaiah Thomas, the old Isaiah Thomas on your roster, right? Or Dennis Johnson from the Celtics days. But you have to have some semblance of a point guard, because Devin Booker doesn't like handling the ball. Devin Booker was the 3rd highest scorer last night for the Phoenix Suns. You said Devin Booker might get mad. Get mad. Score 50, Joel Embiid. Get mad. That's what, it seems so long ago when he was dropping 70 against the Celtics when they were losing 50 games a year.
So let me ask you, we always talk about in the National Football League on how when new head coaches come in, they want to get their quarterback. We're starting to see with the Broncos and Bo Nix. Do you think it's the same scenario with Matt Ishbia saying, I came in, but James Jones wasn't my guy I wanted. Now I have an opportunity to get my guy. I don't know if it's Isaiah Thomas or whoever. Do you think that's the situation that Matt Ishbia is going to go in with the excuse of, hey, Frank Vogel's the guy I wanted. I got him, but James Jones was already there. I didn't really want him, and maybe the chemistry doesn't work out, and he goes and get his guy.
Maybe. I don't know. But if this ends the way we all think it's going to end, James Jones better call the moving company. And Frank Vogel's not back either. That's where
you think after 1 year, though?
That's where you start.
I have a hard time believing that after one season, they're just going to go with 3 head coaches in 3 years. I just don't know if that's the method and that's the way
it
to
seems
go
like they
for the
settled
Phoenix
for
Suns.
Frank Vogel when they hired him.
I agree. They wanted Nick Nurse bad. Remember? They wanted him back. I think a little Doc Rivers was in the discussion there. I know they made a strong push for him. And Frank Vogel, man, definitely hot seats. Seats are getting warm. For Mr. Vogel and Jones.
All right, we'll be right back on Fox Sports 9.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether you're looking for a bay window awning over a breakfast nook, a shade sail or structure in your home or business, a retractable awning for your patio, or roll curtains for your screen room, the House of Canvas and Fine Wrought Iron has what you need. Beat the heat this summer and get covered by Arizona's #1 rated shade experts. Visit thehouseofcanvas.com. House of Canvas, family owned and making shady deals in the Valley for over 40 years. That's thehouseofcanvas.com.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting, taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Do you ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Rockin' the Nooch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you can go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Elevate your outdoor living space this year using stone. Tanzite has developed stone decking crafted without any plastic composite materials to redefine durability. Visit Tanzite.com to see how stone decking doesn't scratch, stays cooler, isn't slippery, and has all the durability you would expect from stone, which is why it's guaranteed for life. At Tanzite.com, you will see how we developed stone to easily transform any ordinary wood deck. You can even make your deck waterproof for a dry space below. Versatile and adaptable. Tanzite is perfect for decks, stairs, over concrete, or ground applications. Visit Tanzite.com to start planning your project with a free 3D design and construction plan tailored to your space. Order a sample today to witness the incredible beauty and durability firsthand at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 9.
We're back at the CAZ Sportsbook, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 McKellips, taking up to 1 o'clock today. And the NFL draft continues, Jackson, as we are in the 5th round, and the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Interesting, we talked about it. Interesting angle. You know, you love covering the angles of the NFL draft. There's all kinds of storylines coming out of it. The Arizona high school angle. And, you know, you and I spent a lot of time in the fall covering high school football, going to games and talking about it. And, you know, I think we all agree on the quality and caliber of play in Arizona, specifically Maricopa and Pima County. You know, these players that are playing at the next level. And it continued again this year with this draft. And we just talked about it a moment ago, and we didn't really do too much of a deep dive into it. But Spencer Rattler, who played his high school football at Pinnacle High School, was drafted by the New Orleans Saints. And, you know, interesting for him. He had an interesting journey once he left Pinnacle, where he went to Oklahoma and did some good things. But then, oh, by the way, a guy by the name of Caleb Williams got in the way and kind of derailed his progress there. And, you know, we've talked about the transfer portal. I know there's a lot of feelings about it one way or another. But I think for a kid like Spencer Rattler, the transfer portal is a perfect thing because he saw the handwriting on the wall, and he said, you know what, thank you very much, Norman, Oklahoma, but I'm going to go someplace where I can play and get out of the spotlight a little bit. Let me focus on what I think I can become. And what I think I can become is an NFL quarterback. And lo and behold, here you go. Spencer Rattler drafted by the New Orleans Saints. And he's going to get his shot now.
Yeah, I think something that you've seen throughout the couple years, and there's a rumor going around on how he was on that reality TV show QB1 on Netflix in high school, and his ego was definitely in a question. And some scouts, it was a rumor on via Ian Rappaport that affected his draft stock. But you look at him, he's a talented quarterback. Him being at South Carolina with how bad their offensive line was and him scrambling everywhere and the amount of times he got hit, he's got the arm strength, he's got the quick release to definitely sit back and learn from Derek Carr. But I think it's a cool situation for him, for the Saints, to learn from Derek Carr and to be in that building and maybe have Drew Brees as a resource to go, you know, learn from him. But it's a good situation of a team that's not dire of a quarterback but needs a backup quarterback in case one Derek Carr comes down, which he's had a lot of injury-prone seasons that we've seen of recent.
Well, and I go back to something that you said earlier in the show. 66 quarterbacks saw time in NFL games last year. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, very rarely is somebody going to play every snap of every game in a long NFL season. So to have a guy that's capable as a backup quarterback in Spencer Rattler, and you talk about the things that people loved about him when he was at Pinnacle and, you know, didn't go away when he was at Oklahoma. And you saw a lot, as you just described, on a pretty average South Carolina team, is the arm strength and the quick release that the kid possesses. Right.
And he's played a lot of football, too. I think that's another example of a guy like Spencer Rattler, and another guy, I wouldn't be surprised if his name got called this next round, 6th or 7th, is Keaton Slovis, another Desert Mountain, another Arizona product, goes to USC, went to Pittsburgh, went to BYU, went to all these schools and stuff. But the point is, folks, is he played a lot of football under his belt, reading defenses and being those different types of offenses and learning playbooks easily and quickly, because he's had to, being at different schools and stuff like that. But for the Saints, Derek Carr's their starter, and the backup, they've got Jake Canner, who was the 4th round last year at Fresno State, another guy that played a lot of college football, and then Spencer Rattler. So you got a battle there with 2 young quarterbacks.
And Keaton Slovis is an interesting one you bring up. He kind of looks like an NFL quarterback. He's a big kid. He didn't have the success at college, but physically he reminds me of a guy that made a hell of a living as a backup quarterback in Michigan's Chad Henne. I don't know if that's a fair comparison to either one of them, so sorry if it's not. But I'll be interested to see what happens to Keaton Slovis. It's an interesting story. He burst on the scene at USC due to injuries, and then obviously had a lot of time on the move. And so we'll see what happens. A couple other Arizona players, Arizona connections, guys getting drafted. 2 of them, count them 2, to the San Francisco 49ers. Ricky Pearsall, he is a wide receiver. Playing drafted earlier on Thursday by the 49ers. And then just today we talked about from the University of Arizona, but for the purpose of this conversation, from Maricopa High School, go Fighting Rams, by the way, Jacob Cowan is now a member of the 49ers. And so you've got Arizona wide receivers with Arizona connections playing with Brock Purdy in the 49ers.
That's pretty cool. And it's going to be sweet to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with those two players playing in his offense, being in the backfield. Pearsall's got a lot of history of speed, lateral speed, to be able to be in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk. And then you've got a guy in Jacob Cowling, who's a great slot receiver. I think it's a home run pick. Those are 2 wide receivers that I wanted the Cardinals to go grab in the later rounds, just because I love Marvin Harrison Jr. And yes, you got Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, but there's not a lot of depth of the receiver room. So that's one more need, I think, for the Arizona Cardinals that they hopefully can address, or maybe they'll do an undrafted free agency. But so far, a home run pick for both of those for the 49ers. And being local guys is obviously a plus, too.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall, it was interesting. A lot of people felt like that was maybe a little bit early to take him. You look at the wide receiver draft boards. But 49ers with some wide receiver questions coming up, and to build that depth out, is probably what was on the mind of that brain trust.
Yeah, and I think Kyle Shanahan's had the history of his scouting and what him and John Lynch want to do and look at. And I think besides that pick, I'm looking right now at the San Francisco 49ers. That's what people say. They're, okay, 31's a little early, but they didn't pick until the last pick of the second round. So there's no chance that at the second round of the last pick that they were going to have him. So for them to get their guy there at 31, I think it's a good pick for the 49ers.
And both these guys that we're talking about, Pearsall and Cowling, again, you look at the impact that the transfer portal has on guys projecting into their professional careers. We talked about Spencer Rattler a minute ago, who was able to move on from Oklahoma and go to a place where he could pick and play. And you look at both these guys. Jacob Cowling started at UTEP, blew it up down there, but UTEP is not going to put your name on the professional football map, right? So to jump up and do it in the Pac-12 and to do it at even a higher level at Arizona than he did at UTEP for Cowling is a good thing. And then Pearsall obviously started here locally and then moved on to the Florida Gators playing in the SEC. I think the same thing.
Yeah, Corona del Sol for Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, you're starting to see guys. If people don't like NIL, people don't like transfer portal, but it does benefit you for the National Football League. And in certain situations for both of those guys, they performed and excelled maybe that they wouldn't have at their old school, and now they're in the National Football League about to be teammates for the 49ers.
And real quickly, we only got about a minute left before we bring Casey on. You had, while you were looking at your phone, a guy you played 7-on-7 against gets drafted.
Yeah, Dominic Hampton, safety, talented safety out of Washington. This is another guy that played 5-6 years. Just got picked 26 in the 5th round, 167 overall. 161 overall, Dominic Hampton. And, yeah, we got a chance to play each other in 7-on-7, follow each other on Twitter. We haven't really talked much, obviously. He's not like I'm my best friend and stuff like that, but he's one of those talented guys that just grinded his way through Washington, and it's cool to see him, be going from University of Washington to the Washington Commanders. See what I did there? A little Washington tie there, but cool to see a Centennial Coyote being represented in the National Football League.
Did you interview him post-game recently, last season?
I did not, no.
I thought you interviewed somebody from – no, it's a kid that was going to Washington on that Centennial roster at the end of last year. How could you have interviewed him last year at Centennial? He wasn't there, Jackson. That was the correct answer to that.
Now that
question.
kid that I interviewed, I'm blanking on his name again. He's at Alabama now because of DeBoer. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
All right, we'll step aside here. I don't know how stuff happens.
Oh, we just said exactly at the same time. That's crazy.
Yeah, we are crazy. Picks coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Oh my
Paper
God.
Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Which player, Rob, that does not have a championship ring yet would benefit the most from winning one?
Damian Lillard's different, Chris, because he joined Giannis. Had he not won in Portland, Chris, nobody's killing him. It's changed for him.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Monday at 4 on your smart speaker. Say play Fox Sports 910.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part, we don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at Venezias.com. That's Venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th, the TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at WrightToyota.com.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny, come on in! Steve!
Hey, Steve!
Steve, how you doing?
Meg!
Meg, nice to see you! Meg!
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports, off-track betting, incredible food, and friendly faces. The best daily specials in Scottsdale. Arena Sports Grill, 62nd Street in Bell. We know you.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
With Progressive Insurance, we make it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you will earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit progressive.com.
Back to Take the Point, powered by the Sportsbook.
I'm not bad. Let's put the open in
Bar
here.
in Casino, Arizona.
Darn it.
Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
All righty, final segment of the day from the CAZ Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona. Jackson Groff, Mike Gross, and Casey joins us. Not as good as your usual open, but Casey is with us.
From Boston.
We make our picks. And from Boston, how are we feeling about the Patriots as the third day of the NFL draft unfolds?
They've had a good draft so far. Can't really complain. Took care of some of the needs, obviously. Got a lot of places they need to make moves, but hopefully May can deliver.
Did he impress you with the shout out to Boston from the stage there in Detroit? Let's go Boston!
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he knows that the Patriots play in Foxborough, but same thing.
Same thing. Exactly.
So how do you feel about Drake May plus 2,000 offensive rookie of the year? You going to place a couple dollars on that one too, Casey, or what?
I'm going to stay away from that. Patriots win total at 5.5. I think it goes way under.
So let's talk NFL draft props. What are some like common themes that you've seen? Some winning tickets, some big bets, some big losses. How'd the Sportsbook do for NFL draft?
We actually lost overall on the draft 2 years in a row. I mean, yeah, you have your typical bettors that come in, you know what I mean? They do their, $20 to a couple $100 here and there, but there's a little bit of information that gets leaked that people get their hands on, bet those early. So we took quite a beating on Bo Nix under 32.5. We had a guy have about 10,000 on that.
Wow.
So that hurt us a little bit.
All right, let's switch gears, Boston guy. Celtics lose game 2 to the Heat. I said the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics, at least in the first round, was the Boston Celtics. Here's a team that won the East by 14 games, I believe it was, that really wasn't tested. And there's no way they should have lost that game to the Heat at home.
No, I mean, they should have never lost the game. But, I mean, that's typical Tatum for you. That's typical Brown for you. Spoelstra's obviously a much better coach than Missoula. But, I mean, the Heat were making all their threes, so.
And real quickly, before we get to our locks, sticking on Boston, we talked about the Bruins and the fact that they don't have the heavy responsibility of carrying around the President's Trophy this year. They're up 2-1 against the Maple Leafs. They lost game 2 at home, but bounced back with a big road win in game 3 in Toronto. How are you feeling about the Bees right now?
I like them in the series. They're in a good spot. I mean, everybody likes these Canada teams. Haven't won since I think it's 95.
The last time was the Montreal Canadiens, 94-95, right?
Yeah. So just keep fading the Canadian teams. We'll be all right.
It's brutal. It's funny because it's true, Casey. I did a bracket. A buddy of mine has a pick'em contest, and I did the Oilers and the Maple Leafs for my Stanley Cup matchup. And the Maple Leafs went out and lost game 1. I think it was like 5-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, there you go, oh, Canada.
Edmonton I like. Toronto not so much.
It just shows how hard it is in professional sports where you talk about the Oilers, you talk about the Maple Leafs. Talent, you got to have talent, but how do you make that talent work is the question, because neither one of those teams have figured out. The Leafs haven't won a cup since 67, I think. That's a long time ago, Jackson.
Way before my time.
100%. All right, let's get to our locks. Richie, hit it.
It's time for Take the Points to give you their locks for the weekend. Live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Okay, gambling degenerates, what are your locks? By the way, you better be gambling responsibly.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy. Timberwolves -1.5 is my lock, guys. Against the Phoenix Suns, I think the line is super low. You mentioned how The closest game for the Phoenix Suns was they lost by 12 or 15 points in this series. Give me the Timberwolves to win and cover tomorrow and close out the series. Casey?
I'm going to go to that Bruins-Leafs game tonight. I'm going to take the over 5.5 minus 130 is fine. Or if you get 6 plus like 105, take that as well.
I am going to go to the Maple Leafs Bruins game, but a little bit more complicated. We got a three-leg parlay. Austin Matthews for a point, Brad Marchand for a point, and the over 5.5. 1 plus 179 for that.
Ooh, okay, Richie?
See you, Lakers. It's over. Goodbye. Pack it up. Go fishing. If you're a NBA and TNT fan, give me the Nuggets -4. Easy money. Easy money.
Nuggets -4, and I love the TNT reference there. Inside the NBA, they're going fishing.
That's
the
why
Suns and the Lakers are going fishing after this weekend.
I love Richie's pick because you know wagering should be not emotional. You shouldn't really put your heart into it like that. So that's why I love that pick so much. The other thing that's cool, I don't know for you, Casey, or you, Richie, Jackson doesn't do a lot of hockey wagering, but in the postseason where you can do player point parlays, same game parlays that you couldn't do during the regular season, and then if a game goes to overtime, jump on real quick and get who's going to score the game-winning goal.
That's pretty cool.
I cashed on Carter Verhaeghe the other night when he scored for the Panthers. I think that's cool. I just love the NHL postseason.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome. Then another thing they're doing a little bit too in the NBA on some of the apps is, will Kyrie Irving get a free throw between, 9 minutes and 7:30 left in the fourth quarter?
It's good stuff. Hey, that's going to about do it for us today here at the CAZ Sportsbook. Appreciate everybody out here and always love coming on a Saturday. Casey, good stuff. Thanks for joining us every week. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 p.m., you've got Rockin' Nooch with Jimmy B. And Jackson Groff is a huge part of that show. So tune in 1 to 4 right here on the station. They're out here at the CAZ Sportsbook every Monday afternoon. So if you're hanging out and about on the east side, come out and see them. Richie, great job back in the studio. Bauer, he's out and about. He's on a honeymoon. He
just got married. He's left us again this weekend.
He'll be back someday. We'll see you next Saturday.